Hey guys and girls, welcome to this week's episode of the No BS with Birchie podcast. I'm your host Nathan Birch, and this is the show unraveling the truth to the facade of the 21st century. We're now exiting the Matrix and waking up to motherfucking reality. Today I have a special guest, Jane. Thanks for coming on board. This is going to be fun, right? Like when we exit the Matrix, right? We've got two people here behind the mics today they're going to be talking about our views on the world are very, very deep. So, thanks for coming on today, Jane. And
you're welcome.
Spending the afternoon.
I feel very honoured to be here.
It's cool. You should be proud because your journey's been wild and cool and So
I wouldn't know if it's been cool.
It is. You're cool with where you're at today, yeah?
I am very cool for where I am now, but where I come from, cool. No, it wasn't. Absolutely not. No.
Cool. Well, maybe just for the viewers and listeners, if you can give us a bit of a background just on how you came to us and what made you come to us, and even whatever you feel comfortable. Jane has a story. I
actually got scammed $200,000.
Yeah.
They looked legit. Everything looked, above board. Yeah. Like I checked to see if they were,
a phishing scam, guys. It was like a phishing scam, like a crypto scam.
Yeah, it was a crypto thing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and in shares and that sort of stuff. So, I actually got scammed 200, and I was actually with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and he knew all about you. I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, didn't know who you were. Haven't heard a podcast, didn't see you on news or anything like that. Didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
He says, just ring up Be Invested and see if they can help you out.
Yeah.
And so I did ring.
Yeah.
And I rang up and I was crying.
Yeah.
And Wayne answered the phone and I just cried. I said, I need help. That's straight off the bat. I said, I need help. I was crying.
Yeah.
He turned around and he goes to me, I think you've rung the wrong number.
Yeah.
I think you need to call Lifeline.
Yeah, legit, right? Like when I spoke to Jane, I've done thousands, like 10,000 map sessions of strategy sessions with investors over the years, and I hadn't I felt like sometimes when I'm on them, like I deal with people talking like fighting with their spouse or that on the phone, or they'll be like, oh, my views is this, my views that. Everyone's position is different, and I feel like maybe 30% of the time I'm a counsellor for people when I'm on the phone, but I vividly remember our chat, and I was listening to you. I was like, I don't know how I can help you, right? And you trusted no one. I
just had my ass handed to me.
You did. You did. And I was like, just if I never speak to you again, just go and get this sorted and go.
Well, I didn't know. I said, I didn't know anything about you, right?
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend gave me, said ring them up, and I just Googled you and, rang up the number, and the next day I had a map session with you guys, with you personally, and I just told you what happened. I said, so I remember one of the questions I asked you was, if you were in my position, what would you do?
Yeah.
And I actually had a piece of land that, did have an investment property on it. The tenant there burnt it for me.
So you didn't just get scammed, you had someone fucking burn your house down as well. So it's not really, people talk about adversity. Most people get the basketball and get the shits and go home after that. But you're like, I need to get ahead.
Yeah, I have two boys that I needed to, one, give an example to. Life's going to throw punches at you.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And next, the next is, you can't just back down. You can't just lay down and die. Giving up's not an option.
Exactly.
So, that investment property was just left to just be a vacant piece of land. And you just said, look, I don't normally advise people to sell their property, but your property's not doing anything for you.
Yeah.
Sell it. Yeah. And then we'll, with that, we'll get to fully paid off properties, and then from there we'll go from there, because I couldn't even service.
So maybe just to give a bit of a background as well, like, I don't know what you feel comfortable sharing as far as where you used to work, what the sort of industry you're in, or incomes or anything like that. Like you're not coming to me with like 200 grand salary and like you're a single mum raising teenage boys that have, you've got a humble income and you've got a block of land that's just costing you with a mortgage attached to it. Was how?
No, that wasn't a mortgage. No, it was totally paid off.
Outright. Yeah.
Because of the insurance, I managed to pay that off outright.
Yeah,
and it was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Not doing anything.
Yeah.
But no, I really want to publicly thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
For what you've done for me. Because where I've come, where I've come from was very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'd like to explain where I've come from based on statistics.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I know I represent a good part of people that have been through this, and they go through what I've been through, what I'm going to explain with these statistics.
Yeah.
And they don't come out.
Okay.
And I want to say, yes, you can.
Okay.
So,
I haven't seen the statistics, so I'm interested.
So according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics in 2023, 30 to 33% of registered marriages end in divorce after 9 to 10 years. 60% of de facto relationships end in separation in 10 years. 21% of Australian adults have experienced violence, emotional abuse, and economic abuse by the partner they are living with. Of that, 1 of 4 women experience violence, 1 of 5 women experience emotional abuse. Financially, single-parent families where the mother is the only source of income, 33.4% live below the 50% median income line, and 42.7% fall below the 60% median.
Yeah.
An estimated $3.7 billion of child support remain unpaid. This financial cap exacerbates the poverty among single mothers and their children. 28.7% of people in single-parent family households with dependent children experience extremely high levels of stress and anxiety, especially while balancing work and childcare responsibilities. 52% of the single mothers report to have at least one chronic health condition, and 10.2% of single mothers report to have 3 or more chronic conditions. According to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, during the period of 2022 to 2023, approximately 38% of people who were homeless have experienced domestic violence, which equates to around 104,000 individuals, of which of those were single mothers and their children. So, luckily for me, as far as this last point with becoming homeless, luckily for me, I had my parents.
Yeah.
They took me in.
Yeah.
But this is who I represent. This is who you've helped.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you. Because I now have a place where I'm able to give my children the example, yes, you can go through this shit and come out of it.
Yeah.
And it's, if it wasn't for your team, your team are awesome at what they do. They really are. And, it's possible. You can go through all of that crap and come out the other side and still come out standing, still come out triumphant and feel like you've achieved something. You know what I mean? It's possible.
Yeah.
And, getting you guys and your team on board and helping me to get to work, because I've always wanted a real estate portfolio.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And the first time I voiced that, I had one person turn around and say to me, "Oh, but you're not smart enough to have a real estate portfolio."
Yeah.
If
Birchie can do it in Western Sydney, Jane can do it in Western Sydney. So.
With all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then how does a person go from that to building a real estate portfolio?
Yeah.
And that's the question then.
I guess I was thinking about this before, and there's that meme that I've seen many times on the internet, which is two kids. You got one's an alcoholic and one's not alcoholic, right? They don't touch alcohol, right? And you ask the kid why you're an alcoholic, he goes, oh, my dad's an alcoholic. And you ask the kid, why don't you drink alcohol? And he goes, oh, my dad was an alcoholic, right? And it's like you can give two people the same environment and the exact same position, but it's a mindset behind, why one takes one road and the other one takes the other road. And like I said at the start of this podcast, you've got a cool story to tell because I'm excited with what you've done with your position, right? I'm excited with what you've achieved, but I don't see the aspect of where you've been living. I know the position of when you came to your scammed and all that, but
that's all you knew.
So
you didn't know the rest of the story. It's like, this is the first time I've actually told you this is where I'm coming from. And you don't come out of that, like if you've been psychologically and emotionally abused for a substantial amount of time, you don't come out of that good.
No.
Like you don't. Like you need to work on your mindset. You got to work on, sorting that shit out. And like there's an analogy that I actually love by Wayne Dyer.
Okay.
And he turns around and he says, if you grab an orange and you squeeze it, what sort of orange juice do you expect? What sort of juice do you expect, right?
Yeah.
Orange juice.
Yeah.
But if you squeeze a lemon, what sort of juice do you expect to come out of that?
Lemon.
So you're not going to squeeze an orange
and
expect lemon juice.
Yeah.
So when life squeezes you, what's coming out of you?
Exactly.
So if say for instance you come out with all angry and all frustrated and revengeful and all this sort of stuff, well, that stuff needs to be sorted out.
Yeah.
You need to work on that mindset in order to move on to the next step.
Yeah.
For me, it's taken me, I think 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I come to you, and it's like, oh wow, I built a decent amount of portfolio in the first 12 months. I built 80% of my portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's only that much of the story. It's like, well, what did I do beforehand? There was a lot of, scarcity mentality that I needed to work through. I needed to work through, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not, all those sorts of things I needed to work on to be able to get to that point.
Yeah. I think for all our positions in our life, like they're all made up of choices and decisions that we've had to get to, right? So when we spoke for the first time, you were going through a shit time, but it's like all the decisions that led you to that shit time, even was like in the trenches of like, it's all dark here. It's like, hey, it'll still be all right. You can recover from where you've been, but all those decisions that got you to that point got you ready for when we could build 80% of the portfolio in 12 months.
But I couldn't service then.
Yeah.
I couldn't service because I was in retail at the time.
Yeah.
Very low.
Yeah.
I was getting $800 a week. That was
40 grand a year.
That's what I was clearing.
Working in retail.
Yeah, working in retail. So that's for low income.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember you saying I couldn't service with that.
Yeah.
And so I just basically did, you said to sell this, and then from that we get two outright and go from there. And I just basically followed your instructions and went that way. So I figure, well, you're the one with the score on the board. I'd be stupid not to listen to you.
Yeah. If you don't have the income, we've got to find it from somewhere. And
that's
you've got the capacity here because you've got some asset. It's like, okay, it's an underperforming asset, but we can turn it into something that's going to really perform for you. And building that cash flow was the first thing. And then you've got those outright ones, and the bank allowed you to go, okay, now you service, now we can play, we're at the table, and we can pull out equity. And
that's exactly what we did. That's exactly what you did. And you never bullshitted me. Like I've been bullshitted left, right and centre, obviously with this stuff, right? So you never bullshitted me. Like in fact, you under-promised.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah, because you said we can get a certain amount, we went beyond it.
Okay.
And it's like, whoa, okay, that's how that works. And I remember you saying, I've been wanting to get more than one investment property, but I could never get more than one.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, it's just a matter of tweaking it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, how are you going to tweak that?
Yeah.
I learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just being with you, your team, and listening to your podcasts and things like that, you learn so much, and it actually opens up it's actually opened up my eyes with what's going on in the world, really, you know, because up until that point You're just a tumbleweed tumbling in the wind, not knowing why things are happening the way they're happening.
Yeah.
But you've just put, clarity on everything that's going on in the world, and it's like, you know what, that makes sense.
Yeah. So now that we've worked on the portfolio, I know you've done lots of other things in the last few years since we first started talking. What would be some sort of takeaways that I guess you've learned, or like, let's say some advice that you could give to someone that's like maybe in a bad spot today, or I don't know, like your position's unique, Jay. Everyone's position's different. Like, I've got people that come in, they're all right. I've got kids that are like 18 years old buying the first one, right? But your story, like, you've got all this adversity that's come your way, and there's probably people watching who's going, I can never do it. It's too hard. I'm a single mum. I can't afford it. I'm only in retail, whatever. Like, what would be some things that you've learned that you could share, that, because you should be very proud of you. That's why I was like, Jane, I'm really excited to talk about you today. And you're like, oh, not really, right? Like, is there something
I'm no one special. Like, I'm just very stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't give up.
Yeah.
I don't give up. And I'm very much a person, with every cloud is a silver lining.
Yeah.
And the bigger the adversity, the bigger the gift.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I look for the gift. And quite often, I've said to my children a number of times, when life gets interesting, I turn to the children, I say, look, all right, kids, we've just been given lemons. Yeah. Let's see how sweet this lemonade's going to be, eh?
Yeah.
Let's see what we're going to do with it.
Yeah.
And, the way things have turned around in some instances, like, it's actually surprised my children to the point they turn around and they say, wow, I wasn't expecting that to happen like that.
Yeah. How do you feel like, so your children, like, roughly what sort of age children are we talking about?
Okay, so my children are adults now.
Yeah. When you first came to me, they were teenagers still? Like,
well, I've only been with you like 4 years. So
how old are they now?
They were in their 20s.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they were in their 20s.
Yeah. How do you feel that they, like your children will feed from you, right? Like, they'll, like, you're in a bad time, they'll see, the stages that you go through life with them. How do you think the impact, like, you got 20-year-olds, there's 20-year-olds watching this saying, I can't get started. There's people with 20-year-olds going, I don't know how the fuck I can help them out. Your role in your children's life, is there things that they're picking up now and going, I want to be like mum? Like,
I don't know if they want to be like me per se, but I do see the fighting spirit in them. Okay, They don't.
Yeah.
They don't give in. They don't, like, something happens. It's like, actually, when I told them I got scammed 200, I thought they were going to get angry with me. Yeah. Like, I was really nervous to let them know, and they just started laughing.
Okay.
They started laughing. I said, why are you laughing? He goes, oh, well, what else is new, Mum? This is just what happens to our family. We just move on from here now.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, I thought, okay. I was expecting it to be a lot worse than that. You know what I mean? I was expecting them to, to really come down on me, and they didn't. They really didn't, But
they delivered you what you needed at the time, I guess.
I guess. But they are, they've become extraordinary human beings. Like, they go through adversities and they face things head on. They don't hide, they don't shrink, they don't run away. It's like, okay, what are we going to do from here?
Yeah.
And I guess they've seen me do it a number of times. So and their father, for that matter, they've seen both me and their father do that a number of times.
Yeah. And
they've got that attitude,
Right.
So I'm quite proud of where they are right now, and I'm quite, happy, with what they've managed to achieve in spite of everything that's happened. Do you know what I mean? And they're amazing human beings. I can't be more proud of them.
That's good. That's good.
But there's a lot that goes into the mindset. Like, you can't go from being all, going through all that stuff that I just mentioned. You can't go from there to where I am without really, really working on, how you're going to face things and how you're going to deal with things.
Yeah.
Like, quite often you've turned around and I because I always listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
you've always said on a number of occasions, another level, another devil.
Yeah.
So how then, I'd like to know, how did you deal with the devil? Did you find that you were the devil you needed to deal with, or was there other, how did you get through that? With every stage you've had to go through?
So what I said, you got kids and we're just chatting about them. Are you a different person now with 20-year-olds than what you were before you had kids?
I'm not the same person. No,
Correct,
no
right?
way.
So let's just say you got babies today, right? And I don't know, 5 years ago you didn't have babies, right? So that they're just babies. The person that, when you went from that first 5 years of their life, that's a lot of adjustment. If you could say, well, I don't have time for this, I'm going to the pub, right? I don't have time for this, I want to go and hang out with a friend, I'm going to go on a holiday, right? But it's no, I need to make sure that I'm there for the kids to survive, right? If you're not there, the kid needs you. So you had to show up as a different person to be the mother, to raise the children, yeah? So at each stage, that's a relationship that you've built with your child to get them to where they are. And they're a reflection, children, without giving parent advice to people, children are a reflection of you, and they'll show you the good and the bad in you, right? Birchie here swears and he goes, oh, fucking hell, right? And the kids start walking around going, fucking hell. It's okay, well, maybe Dad should stop his swearing a bit, right? But it's something that, you're personified through that, right? And when it comes to doing anything, the person you need to show up to in a time of need or time of pain or whatever, you need to turn into that next person to deal with that. You need to be the person that can clean up the mess, right? And I think as a single mum, for your position, you have to, not just as a mum for a kid, it's two people look after a child, but you're fuck, you have to take the whole role of I need to make sure that everyone's safe in the family unit too.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your finances, if you have a bad relationship with your kids, you're going to have a bad relationship with your kids when they get older. If you had a bad relationship with money, you didn't have a good relationship with it. So whenever I'm facing adversity, I always feel I grow from it because I had to change to a new person. But a lot of people just shy away from it. It's people see my podcast and Birchie's looking a bit different in the old ones, right? A bit tubbier and that. And I didn't want to look in the mirror because it'd be I don't like the fucking reflection of what I saw there. So I just avoid looking in the mirror as much, right? But, you see me at the gym and I'm fuck yeah, let's get the muscles go, right? But it's you avoid things. And it doesn't matter if it's, Birchie at the gym or Birchie looking at the bank account or Birchie dealing with a problem. It's you need to address that and you need to be the person that rocks up to be able to fix that. If you aren't acting in line with the person that can fix that, you're not going to be able to be the person that can fix it. And a lot of it, without going into mindset too much and stuff like that, you need to work, okay, here's the situation. You need to assess it logically, right? Jane, you and me speaking and you being sad on our first chat, right? You had to get it out, right? You had to deal with it, right? But if you were still sitting here going, oh, bastards scare me, whatever, you'd still be sitting there in that feedback loop of not changing. But you're okay, that's happened. What do I need to do to go and fix it now, right? How do I avoid making a decision like that, right? How do I avoid by that? And you become stronger and you become better from that. And I always look back at the problems that I've had and I'm okay, that built me stronger. Even if it's something really bad on the day, you look back and it's yeah, that was really bad, but I've got other things shit to deal with today. So it's you just got to move on from it. And I think it comes naturally to me and it's come naturally to you because you've had to evolve from that. But
apparently that's not normal.
I don't know.
Not many people do that though. I've come to realise they shy away from that.
Yeah.
It's as a single mum, I've had to step up to provide, protect and lead my children.
Yeah.
That's not normal. That's not natural for a woman to do that. You know what I mean? Women are supposed to be nurturing. They're supposed to be, they're supposed to be nurturing and being there for the children. But to be able to have to, lead, provide, and protect, which is a very masculine type thing.
Yeah.
a woman can very much head into burnout. And that's the reason why I put in that, single mums do end up having, chronic diseases and that sort of stuff because they have to do that.
Yeah.
But if a single mum is able to find the balance between the masculine and the feminine to be able to, work in between that.
Yeah.
Find, just listen to the body, work hard when it needs to be, and then when the body says, right, we've got to back off.
Yeah.
So you can go back again. Otherwise, you hit the wall and you're done.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've done that too.
Yeah. It can happen. On my journey of being an investor, I've had times where I'm like, shit, it's all too much or whatever. But it's like, when you took the children home for the first time, cuddling them and putting their nappies on and feeding them, and they wake up in the middle of the night, whatever, you wouldn't have got in there going, okay, I'm going to do this as a single mum, right? You were faced with that at some point on that journey.
No.
And you could easily go, you can't easily go, right? Oh, okay, cool, well, I'm just going to go now, I'm going to walk out, right? Because you know that if I've started this journey, I've got to continue this journey, and I've got to do the best fucking job that I can do to get there.
Giving up was never an option.
Correct, right?
You got 2 children to look after, they're looking up to you, that are wanting, that are needing guidance and support from you, even though you're the one that needs the guidance and support.
Yeah.
Giving up was definitely not an option.
Yeah.
And I was still married, and I ended up reading this book called Rich Woman by Kim Kiyosaki, which is Robert Kiyosaki's ex-wife.
Yeah, ex-wife now. Yeah,
ex-wife. Yeah. And she had similar statistics in that for baby boomers at the time.
Okay.
And I remember reading that and thinking, oh, geez, I hope I don't fall into those statistics.
Yeah. Did
I fall into them and then some?
Yeah.
But you can come out the other side, and that's really what I want to say. It's, if you don't give up, you keep looking, you look yourself in the mirror and face your demons.
Yeah.
Eventually your demons turn into angels.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's just what's happened. That's just what's happened with me. You know what I mean? It's just something that's you don't give up.
Yeah.
You don't give up. Giving up's not an option.
Exactly. You wouldn't never have given up your kids, you never give up on your portfolio, you never give up on your dreams. It's like, we just got to do it. So so how do I get through adversity? I'd face it that same way. It's not an option. I just have to. What do we have to do? Who's the person that needs to be here? If there was a flood today, right, and there was a big flood and there's mud everywhere, right? It's like, okay, we sit here and go, oh, I've got nowhere to sleep tonight. It's like, okay, well, we've got to get the fucking bucket out. I don't want to be the cleaner, but I've got to get the bucket out, and we've got to start rebuilding whatever you've been dealt with, right? And there's no option. You've got no roof over your head if you don't fix it up.
Well, that's true. Well, with the property that I had there, that I told you that the tenant actually burnt.
Yeah.
He was a real interesting individual, right?
Okay.
He actually moved in with his mum. His mum was lovely.
Yeah.
Was there the whole time. And this particular property was like a 3-bedroom home, and it was, the previous owners closed off a door, made a 1-bedroom unit and a 2-bedroom unit, but it wasn't council approved.
Yeah.
And I ended up purchasing that like that, right? And she was in the 2-bedroom part.
Yeah.
And the sun come in, totally destroyed the backyard and all that sort of stuff, upset the tenant that was in the 1-bedroom unit, and actually got council's attention onto everything because of the mess of everything.
Yeah.
And so I evicted them out, and before he left, he says, I'm going to condemn this.
Yeah.
He says, you're not going to be able to rent this out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh yeah, like this. And I thought to myself, okay, am I insured? Am I covered? Yeah, I think I am. That's good. Yeah, all right, I'm covered.
Yeah.
So that was going through my mind.
Yeah.
But then he took a step forward. When I went to approach this gentleman, I had my dad and my young son with me.
Yeah.
And he went to take a step forward towards me, and then he looked behind me and he took a step back.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, he went, and that all finished, and I spoke to my son, and my son turned around and he goes, Mum, he was a teenager at the time, he goes, Mum, make sure you stand behind me. He said, because he was going to go for you, and I had a pipe ready for you.
Can't tell you from Western Sydney, can we?
I had a pipe ready for him. He said, he saw me grab the pipe, that's why he stepped back. He said, make sure you stand behind. Not, being, the mum, you know, you want to protect your kids, and here's your son saying you stay behind him. But sure enough, I, you know, got the tenants out of there, and I, you know, renovated it because this place hadn't been touched for like 15 odd years.
Yeah.
And so I renovated it, right?
Yeah.
I sunk about 30 grand into it, and I found tenants for both, right?
Yeah.
Got leases done for both, right? And because I'm actually a property manager too. Like I'm fully qualified as a property manager. So I went in and did the ingoing inspection for both these, right? Yeah. That was say on the Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, I get a phone call from the police, from a police officer saying, "Oh, are you Jane Camilleri?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Oh, you have a property there on you know, in Penrith?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he goes, "Well, that's actually caught fire." I said, "Serious?" I said, "How are the neighbours? Has it affected any neighbouring, you know, did anyone get hurt? Is everyone okay? Like what's..." He goes, "No, everyone's all right, but your property has actually gone up." And I go, "Oh, okay, all right, well, as long as everyone is okay." Go there, I was absolutely devastated.
How did you feel when you got the call that your house had burned down? I'm curious by that. Were you sad? Were you like...
I was just grateful it wasn't my son.
Okay.
Because I had my children. One son lived with me, and the other son lived with my ex-husband. Yeah. And I knew the son that was with me was okay. Yeah, yeah. My initial thought was, "Oh, what's wrong with my other son?"
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Then when he said it was a property, I actually felt relief.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but I felt relief. Yeah. But then I saw the property in the way it was. What actually happened was the person actually put an accelerant on a rag, stuffed it underneath the back door, and because the house was an old fibro house, asbestos, it actually went up, and actually the birds were nesting in the roof, and so with all that nesting material and all that sort of stuff, it went up the door, went into the roof cavity, went because of all the you know, all the nesting, and so it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Mess.
And after you got the insurance payout, how did you feel? Were you just like, oh...
Well, that was an interesting situation because the insurance, I found out that all the tradies that the insurance people get, they're all in bed together. Yeah. Right?
They go through like a company called like Cunningham Lindsay. Is that a word that you remember?
I don't know who they were.
I remember I had a few burn down, and they've always appoint like this company. There's like a company that they go to for like quantity surveying and builders. So.
It was just interesting because they wanted to rebuild. They wanted to fix what was there, right? Yeah. It's asbestos, and once asbestos gets burnt, it's friable, which is even worse again. Yeah. And I ended up talking to a friend of mine who was actually gone through the insurance with his property because he had a leak in the bathroom, and it went his 2-story building and went through to the bottom story. Yeah. And he got the insurance in, but they didn't waterproof the bathroom. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, bodgy. And so he said, "Look, I'm going to save you a lot of money, Jane. Yeah. So get a builder. Yeah. Hire a builder who knows about insurance, who's been on the tools, knows what's going on. Yeah. Get him to get him to look at the reports because they give me reports and it's in English, but I don't understand what I'm reading. Yeah. Right? Because they have their own language. So give the report to him, let him read it, let him understand it, and let him guide you and lead you. Yeah. And sure enough, I did. I found a builder, and he turned around and he said, "Right, so how they do a environmental
impact study or something?
Environmental study, like a test to see, you know, how contaminated the ground was, the atmosphere was, all that sort of stuff, because it's asbestos, right?" Yeah. And I said, "Yeah, they spent about half an hour." Yeah. He goes, "Really? Is that all they spent?" I said, "Yeah, half an hour is all they spent." He goes, "Well, would you be willing to pay for another test?" Yeah. I said, "Absolutely, I'll be willing to pay for another." So I went and paid for another test. This gentleman was there for half a day, if not a full day, picking up samples and, you know, getting air readings and all this sort of stuff. And it come back that it was highly contaminated, as it would be, right? And that it's not to be repaired.
Because all the dirt, they have to scrape the dirt back.
10 mil.
They have to scrape the top of the dirt
10 mil. They had to take off 10 mil off the top. Yeah. Because it wasn't, and I had to get certified to say that it was safe for them to be built on and all that sort of stuff again. Yeah. And that actually happened. And sure enough, the builder comes back to me. he goes, look, the builder of the insurance wanted to dispute me, saying, we can build this, we can fix this, you know.
Yeah.
My builder turned around and said to him, do you want to put your license on the line?
Yeah.
Because I can prove that this is contaminated. How far do you want to go with it?
Yeah.
And he says, right, I'm backing off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when my builder turned around and said, look, what do you want to do? Do you want to build on it, or do you just want a clean slate?
Yeah.
I said, I just want a clean slate. Just clean it.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening with that.
Cash settlement. I love cash settlements. I always want a cash settlement.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, right, in the midst of all this, right, because I had that property for like, I think 9 years.
Yeah.
And it was just at the GFC, just as the GFC started, I ended up purchasing. It was a good price.
Yeah.
I ended up getting that for like $285 or something.
Okay.
And there was a lot of equity in that, so I knew I was exposed as far as that's concerned, because having dual properties, having all that not council approved, something was to happen, like there was a lot of risk.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I remember telling my son, I said, you know what, I think I want to kiss the tenant I want to kiss the feet of the tenant that actually burnt my place. He goes, Mum, don't you mean you want to cut his toes off? Like, don't you want to?
Yeah.
He goes, no. I said, I want to kiss his toes. Like, he did me a big favour.
Yeah.
And because I remember telling him, I don't know what sort of lemonade I'm going to make out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I really don't know what sort of lemonade I'm going to make from this. I said, I might have to sell the property. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it actually turned out that it ended up being like a fully unencumbered piece of land in the middle of Penrith somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I had 3 burned down, like maybe 5 years ago. 3 properties burned down within like a month of each other.
Yeah, wow.
And I had once before and had like two burned down. Another one. I probably had six properties burned down over the years. One I didn't get paid for because the property manager was managing it. Fucking did a really bad job, and I'm out of pocket for that. I still need to go back and sue them, by the way. It's a long time ago, but I should be able to sue them still. But when I was telling people about, this thing burnt down, like I bought a property for 140 grand, a townhouse, and I fixed it. It got, I sent some trades and whatnot, but the cash settlement becomes a lot more than what the property can be worth sometimes too. And it's like, I'm telling people about it, and people are like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Nathan. Like someone just died. And I'm like, it's all right. This is what insurance is
That's
for,
why
right?
you make sure you have your insurance. You don't have insurance, you might as well walk on the street with no undies on.
Yeah.
Seriously, you need to be insured. You need to be covered. Like, you need all of that.
Yeah.
Like that was my second property that got burnt.
Yeah.
The first
Really? Okay, wow.
The first property that got burnt was actually the matrimonial home. I actually ended up getting that home.
Okay.
And I had tenants in there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't malicious or anything. What ended up happening was the tenants plugged the extension cord into the wall to plug into the wall to plug the TV in around the corner, around the side.
Yeah.
And they pushed the bed head up against the wall.
Yeah.
And pinched the wire.
Okay.
And that slowly over time got warm, slowly over time got hot, and it just caught.
Yeah, wow, crazy.
And that was $85,000 worth of damage. $80, yeah. Okay. That went through the rafters, like the rafters were singed and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But that property had an intercom that didn't work.
Yeah.
It had a dishwasher that needed a knife to close it.
Yeah.
And a wall oven that needed another knife to close it in. Like, it wasn't and the air conditioning wasn't working too good either.
Yeah.
So I actually freaked out because I needed the income from that property to actually help pay the loan on that thing, because that was totally my responsibility. And what ended up happening with that one was I was actually a mess. My mum ended up ringing the insurance company and saying, look, because I remember changing it from normal, insurance as an owner occupied to landlord insurance, but I didn't know what that entailed. Like, my head was a mess, We were separating. I needed to move out of the house. The kids I was going to unsettle the kids from moving from one school to another. Like, all those sorts of things were going through my mind. So I didn't know what I did by doing that, but it was the best thing I did.
Yeah.
And Mum rang up the insurance on my behalf to go, and Mum come back to me. She goes, they're going to cover the rent for you while you build and while you fix this. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He says, Jane, there's no, you know,
free reno.
There's no agency on that one. There's no agency fee on that one. There's a free full renovation, everything that you need to do until they'll pay the rent up until that's done. I thought, oh, you beauty, then I'm home, I'm home and hosed. You know, and the house ended up becoming exactly how I would have wanted it if I was living in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I couldn't live in it. I had to sell that, and then that's when I ended up getting the Penrith property.
Yeah.
But that was, I did freak out with that one because that was the first time that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced that before.
Yeah.
But then when this tenant of the second property said, oh, I'm going to condemn this, I'm like, okay, yep, am I insured?
Well, it's important, like, I guess making sure that you have your worst case scenario is still a good outcome.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. And I guess that laid the foundation for us to get you to where you are today. And, you know, I guess, you know, when getting started, what was your initial expectation? Like, you came to us and you know, got scammed and whatnot, but what was your initial expectation? What did you think you could do? What did you know, compared to,
Honestly, I had no idea.
Yeah.
By the end of the 12 months of first being out, because I wasn't able to do things straight away, because as you know, I was not able to service, so I needed to sell the property, needed to do what you'd said to get to the point where I was able to do things, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I could achieve.
Yeah. Okay.
By the end of the 12 months, having 80% of my portfolio done in the first 12 months actually shocked me.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that could be done. So, oh wow, that can be done.
Yeah.
But then, interestingly enough, 80% of the portfolio had been purchased, right? That was working well. It was like neutral. I think it was neutral, slightly positive at the time.
Yeah.
Then you had your interest rates go up, eh?
Yeah, we all had that go up. But What happened?
13 times in 15 months.
Yeah.
Trust me, I felt each one.
Yeah. I know we had talks about it.
I could not stay in my retail business, in the retail job to do that. Couldn't do it. And I was having a conversation with my son, the older one.
Yeah.
And he said that he was earning, I think, $1,200 a week driving a dumpy.
Okay.
And I said, oh, so is any women doing that? He goes, yeah, there's women doing that, Mum. I said, is it hard to do? And he goes, no, it's a piece of piss, Mum. It's it's all automatic. You don't have to worry about nothing. I go, oh, yeah, so how do you go about getting it? He says, you got to get a white card, you got to get your VIC, it's just a matter of getting a job after that. And I go, oh, okay. No worries then, I'll do that. That was all the decision that made, because I couldn't stay. Like, I ended up getting strata fees. Yeah. And they're usually about, $2,000 a pop when they come through. Yeah. And you get, 10
of them at a time, 20 of them at a time, I get hundreds of them at a time.
And you've got to be, and they're due at the end of the month. It's like, how the hell are we going to do this, right? Yeah. And so I was really packing it. And so I took, I'm pretty sure it was about a week or two off. It was just 1 week actually, off the retail company, the retail business. Yeah. So that I could go and get my VOC, got my white card, started learning to drive a dumpy, packing shit all the way. Yeah. Because this thing's like huge. They're big 40-ton dumpers. Okay. And I drive a little.
Yeah. Little car.
A little Corolla. Yeah. Toyota Corolla. That's what I drive. So it was a big adjustment, and I did it. Yeah. I did it. It was worth it, but it was hard because I was going from a 7.6 hour week. Yeah. Like a day, the day was 7.6 hours a day, like working for 5 days, to 10 hours a day. Yeah. With an hour travel each way. Yeah. And so I was like, the pressure was on. Yeah. Like, it was on. Yeah. Because I was really tired. Like, to come back to travel an hour, like I'd be traveling after work, after a day's work, I'd be traveling an hour. Yeah. I'd stop at the red light and I'd be falling asleep at the red light. Yeah. And the guys behind me would be bipping the horn for me to keep going. Yeah. And that's where I actually hung on to your podcasts. Okay. I swear to God, like I'd put them on any opportunity I had. It's like, why the hell am I doing this? Why am I doing this? This is crazy. This is insane. Why am I doing this? And then I put your podcast on and you talk about, all the stuff that's going on in the economy, where things are, what's going on. I said, yep, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll keep going. You know what I mean?
So I guess fast forwarding, like a lot of people will like go, okay, interest rates have gone up, it's a bit tight, I'm going to sell something because it's the easiest thing to do. Is just to sell, right?
I flirted with that idea. Yeah, I did flirt with that.
Yeah.
I did.
You're like, okay, I have to change my job, change my career and all that, which is big move to do. But looking back, like, so now, from when the first interest rate's gone up to now they've started to come back, they haven't come back quick enough, but they will. What's happened to the portfolio? Like, as far like, is it interest rates have gone up 13 times? Is it negative?
So at the moment, as it stands, it's only negative, because I just did the numbers on the thing. Yeah. It's only negative about $145 a week.
Okay.
That's what that is. And I can cover that easy. Like, that's...
One more rate cut, it'll be, one more interest.
But see, during that time though, because that was the interesting thing, interest rates were going up every month.
Yeah.
But then they were capping, like the government was making laws that, you can't up the rent, for 12 months. And it's like, hang on.
Yeah.
Let us catch up. You know what I mean? And so there was a period there. And then on top of that, 3 of the properties were in a lease. We're in a 2-year lease.
Yeah.
One was my fault. I fixed that. But then the other 2, they were bought like that.
Yeah.
I said, holy crap. So I've got to stay like this for 2 years and then I can't bump it. You know what I mean? So there was that dilemma too that I had to overcome. But
and still in the middle of all that, you still bought.
No, I didn't. I couldn't.
But on the flip side of that, like as you came out the other side.
On the other side.
Of more recent times.
After that. Yeah. Because I couldn't, during that time, because I changed industries.
Yeah.
I went from retail to civil construction.
Yeah.
They're totally different industries. And if you deal with, with Zinger Finance, they've turned around and they said, look, because you've changed industries, you have to wait, you have to be permanent.
Yeah.
In that job before we can actually do anything with you.
Yeah.
Well, with me, like I was with an agency, the agency got me a job, driving the dumpy, and I had to stay with them for 6 months.
Yeah.
Before I could get into a full-time position.
Role. Yeah.
But that didn't happen straight away either, because after the 6 months, work kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any more work in the civil construction industry for what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So I was doing other things. I even went pulling guts out of turkeys.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Fuck, there you go. Gutting chickens.
Yeah. I deal with. There's an Ingham factory there at Ingleburn.
Okay.
Is it Ingleburn? Near Picton.
Thilmere.
Okay, near there. Yeah.
There we go.
I worked there for, only a few days. That was hard going, that.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I think,
they're birdzillas and they're not chickens, eh?
Yeah, full of GMOs. That's another topic, though.
Oh, yes, it is another topic. But yeah, so I did what needed to be done. I had flirted with the idea of selling a few properties, but I thought to myself, I've wanted to do this all my life, since at least 23, And I finally got my portfolio.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sell it.
Yeah.
And besides which one would I sell? I love them all. They're all doing their thing. They're all unique in their own way.
Yeah.
No, so I didn't want to sell. So I had to basically, during that time, it actually separated the women from the girls and the men from the boys. It's like, the ones that sold, the one that keep, But I managed to hold on to it, which was great.
How was that?
It was, yeah.
So if we go back, let's say you're a social event on the weekend, or at your old job chatting to a colleague or something, right? And you got some water there, around the water cooler, right? And we're like, hey, I've got this situation, right? Do you think that you could have spoken to anyone about your portfolio or any of these? You can't, right?
No way.
No one will understand. I'll say you're stupid.
I hinted. No. I hinted that I had a certain amount of investment properties.
Yeah.
To certain members of the family.
Yeah.
They turned around and go, what are you doing with that amount? What are you doing with that? What are you going to do with all that money? What are you going to...
Yeah.
I said, maybe buy my own home on my own terms, perhaps, maybe. Is that unrealistic?
Maybe not have to work, maybe not...
I said, I don't want to be working all my life.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't want to be working all my life. I want to be spending time with my grandchildren.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I want to be there and help my kids as much as I possibly can with them.
Yeah.
You know, and what they're doing and what, you know...
So in those times where you're like defeated and you're like, fuck, I have to go pull guts out of chickens, right? Like support, like I know we had some chats along the way, like you've spoken to Zinger, you've spoken to Wayne and the investor relation team. Like, how was the team like having people to chat to that weren't...
Oh, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. I know they're great, that's why I employ them. But
No, second to none.
Yeah.
Second to none, because
I know you've had good chats with Wayne. Wayne's been on podcasts, I think. He hasn't been on for a while. We'll get Wayne on a podcast shortly. There's an editor, get Wayne on, right? Like, just your conversation, like what sort of things have you spoken, or hurdles is just having a chat with the team?
Okay, so you always mention to make sure you have at least, I think it's 5,000 per property, as a buffer, right? And after purchasing some properties, the buffer actually dwindles a little bit, and that I do freak out with that sort of stuff. Like I'll make sure I have to have a buffer because, hot water system, as it turned out, a hot water system did shit itself, but it does happen, you get a hot water system or, one of those pipes, those flexi pipes from underneath the sink bursts or something, they're known to do that and create full-on damage. So you want to make sure you've got that. And my buffer had actually gone down quite substantially to the point that I was freaking out. And I actually called you actually. I sent you a text message saying, I think I
couldn't chat to you there. I said, hey Wayne, call Jane now, right?
And I was already on the blower to him. I was already talking to him. And he goes, Jane, look, come in. He goes, I'm not in the office at the moment, but I will come in. Because today's not my day in the office, but I'll come in and we'll sit down and we'll talk to you and we'll do all that sort of stuff. And sure enough, I was freaking out that much. I didn't have anything to eat that day, right? And he sat me down, we got through everything, and he said, but Jane, you can pay the bills you've got to pay, you've got enough to do that. I freaked out that I thought I'd had overstepped things, particularly, with promoting my new book and all that sort of stuff. I freaked out, like absolutely freaked out. So he managed to put my mind at ease long enough to kind of say, okay, well, you can do this, and then go to Zinger and see. But I had already gone to Zinger and see what we could do to kind of look at the portfolio, see what equity I got, just to pull out, just so that we could have that buffer. And that's what we've done. We managed to do that. In that time, it was like pressure. Like even Wayne says, "Oh man, the diamonds you could create with the pressure you're under." I said, "Yeah, I know. I can feel it. Trust me." But they're brilliant. They're brilliant. Cool. That's just Wayne, and even like your your team from Blink have actually rung me a number of times, and they'd caught me while I'm driving. And we'd have a good old conversation and that sort of stuff, and I'll be on the roller. Those big machines that have the big roller on the front.
Steamroller.
It's not a steamroller. It's just a roller. It just compacts things in front of you.
I call it a steamroller. I don't know what the technical term is, but it's a steamroller. Well,
the air conditioning shit itself in that thing, right? And that's when they rang me. And I'd be talking to them, about portfolio and things like that. And I go, listen, hang on a sec. The water cart's going by. I'm going to go, get him on the two-way and see if I can run under his sprayer because it's really hot. And she goes, yeah, okay. So she's on the phone with me. She hears me running for the water cart. And I'm just laughing my head off as I'm getting wet with this water cart because it's stinking hot. There's no air conditioning in the thing. And the only saving grace was the cold breeze that was there. And, I've even gotten phone calls from your team, while I was up high on a stockpile, where if you look down, people look like ants. So I don't know how high up I was. And in the dumpy, you don't know, you can't see the edge. So you think you're right on the edge, but you might be a metre or two off the edge.
Yeah.
But you can't see that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they're talking to me. I go, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
No one's blooded down there, no.
Oh shit. They go, what's going on? I said, well, I'm up high on this stockpile. I said, I'll take a photo of where I'm at and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
And that's sort of...
Yeah. So on that note as well, like just going through your properties and, I don't want to go anything to, hey, let's look at all your properties and that today. It's not the podcast for that. But if you don't mind, like, do you have a favourite, if I have to ask you the question? Like, do you have a property that's your favourite out of them all?
This is a question you always ask your people with regards to their portfolio.
Like...
I don't know if I do, because they're all unique in their own way.
Okay. And if not, like, that's cool as well. Like, if you don't have a favourite
No,
one,
because I don't really have an emotion attachment to these properties.
Okay.
They are a tool to get me to where I want to go.
Yeah.
And this is something that you've always said in your podcast, don't have an emotion. This is a business, and I treat it as such.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of these properties.
None of them?
None of them at all. I've not... the way that I've judged it is by their reports, by the pest and building reports, and also the photos that I get to see, and even some of the property, some of the agents, they actually go in, and do a video, like a thing. And I don't really have a favourite, because for me, this is a business.
Yeah.
And I really treat it as such. Like every time, because again, having been in the property as a property manager, I do my, rental analysis. Yeah. And I basically do that every few months or so. So I know basically where the market's at, where things are. So when an agent comes to tell me, look, the property, the lease is due, or it's time to increase the rent, and they say such and such, and it's always low. Yeah. Right? I say, no, go up at this, go up to this. Yeah. Because that's where it's at. I know that's where it's at. I know that's where the market is. Yeah. Don't lowball me. Yeah.
And on that note, like, if you noticed that the properties, like some of them might have been more from a cash flow perspective, or they've all been a balance of neutral sort of cash flow, like, is there any observations looking back on the portfolio?
Well, this is the interesting thing, and this is what I learnt having being with you, because up until coming to you, I always thought, it's to buy a property is what you want. It's what you need, like what suits you.
I could live there, sort of thing. Like
you go from that perspective. Is it good? Like if it's good for me, then it'll be good for a tenant, kind of thing, right? Yeah. So but then you've shown a different perspective on things, where you've turned around and you say, well, it's a banker's game. Yeah. And you've said that a number of times, but I want to say, it absolutely bloody well is a banker's game. It's like, what does the portfolio need for the next step? Like, do we need a property that has equity behind it? Do we need a property that has cash flow? Do we need all that sort of stuff? And this is also another reason why I'm so grateful to you, because you've taught me that. Like, this is the sort of stuff they don't teach in school. Yeah. I never was taught any of this stuff. Yeah.
I don't even think a broker would teach you that, because a broker's like, I've got to write a loan for a 200 grand property today, and then I've got to pull equity out for $30,000, and it's just lots of hard work that the broker has to do, and a lot of people don't look at it because they're just like, it's not in their vested interest.
And this is the brilliant thing about your team and what you have set up, and why I'm so grateful, because you say there's no bullshit, and seriously, there is no bullshit. Yeah. I have to pull you up on this one. The only bit of bullshit you've ever said is that you're old. You're not old. Like, you say you're older, but you're not old. Because if you're old, man, I'm a dinosaur. Because I'm older than you. That's the only bit of bullshit.
Compared to the 25-year-old version of myself in my head,
yeah, but that's older. You're not old.
True,
like, you're not old and decrepit.
Yeah,
like,
true.
When
I turn 40, I'm like, I want to be at the best position that I am, so that's why I'm like, go to the gym.
You are, and you're a true inspiration to me, because it's like, okay, where do I, this? If you can do it, then I can do it, and the fact that you've set up such a team, with all these, like, even Steve, what's that?
Zenith Legal.
Zenith Legal. They're brilliant. What a brilliant team.
Yeah.
Like they'll send a contract and it's like I miss it on the emails, and they'll ring me. It's like, oh, we've sent this out. Have you seen it? I go, oh crap, I haven't seen it. No, I'll get that sorted.
When you deal with a lawyer, like lawyers, I've got lots of lawyers that I have. Like, so I've got my property law firm, but I've got like counsel that I need to employ from different aspects in life, right? Like just different types of lawyers, like specialists in different things. And you just picture a lawyer, and lawyers can be arseholes. Like
100%.
They can be absolute arseholes
100%.
with no humility, without like, oh, just fucking sign it. Like, are you stupid? You should. Like, they talk to you like that.
Yeah, they talk down to you.
Yeah, but Stephen, he's been my lawyer for like 16 years or so, 17 years. And
him and his wife,
people.
Brilliant, beautiful people, very easy to get on with.
Yeah.
And I almost cringe if I'm not working with them.
Yeah. And the reason why Jane isn't working with them sometimes, like it's in a different location outside.
Different state. Like say for instance, if they like, because if you're getting a property in a state that they are not well versed in, or don't have, you can't work with them. So I cringe that way.
Yeah.
But otherwise, but even in that instance, you guys find a lawyer that is
everyone always
easy
goes, get Stephen and Belinda to get into this state, right? And now they're everywhere now.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of locations they can't get into just because of the way that it's slower. It's like it's not digital. It's not how it works. So they can't get in there, but they're getting there. You said you hadn't been to any properties, right?
No.
And you haven't seen any, and that's like something I want to go back to and circle back.
Absolutely.
So, like you had your first place, you were going to live in it. You lived in it. Had the fire. They renovated it. You rented it out. Then you had the second property. They're both in Sydney. They're in different locations to where you are, but they're within a half hour. The
first one was an hour away. Yeah. The second one was literally 10 minutes away.
Yeah. So they're not like,
they're not another
you can
state.
just go down the road and see them. How did you have any issues overcoming that? Going, I've got to buy something in Queens and I've never been to this location, or Perth or wherever.
Well, I was fixated on one state at one point in time, and then it's like, you know what? If the numbers work, they work, and it doesn't matter what state they're in, kind of thing. Okay. So I did originally was fixated on one state.
Yeah.
And then I just that just got
cool.
that got smashed. It really did, and it still works. And in fact, it works better now that I've done that, because
you're everywhere.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Which is I'm grateful for. So grateful. Like, it's just humbling to be where I am, and where things are and how things have turned out, and from where I was to where I am, and to know that nothing was given to me on a silver platter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the easiest ride. You've had to push through, you had to do things, but it can be done. It is possible,
No cool story comes without no cool outcome comes without a crazy story behind it, right?
Yeah.
And your story, like, people would have given up 10 times over, right? They're, oh no, it's too hard. Oh, I can't do it because of this. I see people give up for no reason, right? They're trying to find an excuse to go, oh, I shouldn't do it because of this, or I shouldn't do it because of that. And they get nowhere.
That's right.
And you could have easily gone, okay, this is a bit too tough right now.
Oh, so easy to give up.
Yeah, and you've pushed through it. So
so easy.
That's why I'm proud of where you're at and what you've done. That's really cool.
I appreciate that.
And I want to just go back a second, because you've got a book there, but we won't get to the book yet. You talked about raising teenage boys and good young men now. How do you think this journey has changed their future? Like, do you think it's had a big impact or a small impact, or how do you think it's impacted? I'm just curious.
I like to think it's had an impact. I mean, the way I parent is I parent by example. Like, this crap of do as I say, don't do as I do type thing don't wash well with me, and it definitely doesn't wash well with my children. Yeah. So my idea was, like, with me, like, I've always wanted to, much like what you say, live life to the fullest. You say live life on your terms.
Yeah.
Like in school, I had a a PE teacher turn around and say, look, if there was one thing you could say to your children now, what would you say?
Yeah.
And for me, it was to live life to the fullest.
Yeah.
But it's just been a struggle to do that, you know what I mean? And I want to be able to, you know, give that example to my children that, you know, it can be possible to live life to the fullest, to live life on your terms.
Yeah. Do you talk to them about what you're buying or where you've bought or?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've quite often talked to them. It's like, this is what I'm going to do now. And like, particularly, like my older son turned around and he goes, like particularly when I changed jobs and things like that, he goes, Mum, like when I told him I possibly had a job, you know, driving a dump truck, he just laughed at me. Yeah. And I said, what are you laughing at, son? He goes, Mum, when you say you're going to do something, you don't fuck around.
Yeah.
That's his words exactly, you know. Yeah. And so my kids know that if I'm going to buy something, like they know what I say is not just, you know, words that are said in thin air. Like, I'm actually going to do it. And what I'm finding with my children is that when they say they're going to do something, they do it.
Yeah. That's
you know,
character. That's
you know what I mean? Like, they're not. Like my young son wanted to buy a house when he was 20. He got it.
Yeah.
You know, they both got their cars completely outright.
Yeah.
You know, my older son now has his own, you know, trucking business. Like, he's, beautiful. You know, doing his own thing.
Yeah.
They're only, my older son is 25, so that's where they're at.
Yeah. And I think that's really cool. Like people that have got children. I was doing a webinar today before filming this for someone, and someone asked me a question in a webinar. What advice should I do for my kids? I'm like, I don't have adult kids, so I can't give you the advice on that, right? But I think it's cool. One thing that I've seen, you know, like if we look at Linda, for example, from Office or other,
I love her, love her, adore
She's
her
very beautiful.
Completely.
Yeah.
Love her and adore her completely. What she's had to overcome and what she's
I was talking before about like the mirror I didn't want to look into, right? People say you shouldn't talk about, you know, certain things at the dinner table, right? You shouldn't talk about politics, you shouldn't talk about religion, you shouldn't talk about money, right?
Yep.
And I think that, you know, when you're real, like, and you're comfortable, you'll talk about it, right? If you're comfortable about it, you'll talk about it.
Yeah, no, we've had conversations all the time.
That, like, if I talk about something, it's like, I'll talk to you about something like, fuck, wow, yeah, it's cool. I'm just talking about like I talk about it anyway. I'm having this conversation in my mind. It's like, it's just normal. People think I'm talking, I'd buy 10, 20, 30 proproperties, you know, it's like I'm ordering lunch. It's like, it's like, you throw in a 20 pack of nuggets, right?
That's right.
It's like, but people wouldn't normally talk about that because it's not in their vocabulary. So you talking with your boys is getting them, you know, just by naturally being around you, you're being able to, you know, you may not even realize it today, but like in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, the way they act, some people are like, oh no, you know, your mum's fucking pretty wild. And it's like, yeah, my mum back in the day probably would have sounded like me, right? Like my mum's, she got a very high pitched voice, so opposite to me. But she's like, she was very driven and she's very, you know, all that. So it's like that is you know, they're getting that version from you as mum. That will impact them in life, just like all those habits that you've seen.
Yeah, we have lots of conversations about what's going on, like with my portfolio and things like that. And and even because my parents are property investors as well.
Okay.
But the way they did things is different to the way I did things, because they you know, bought a property, paid it off, then went and got another one. Paid that off.
Money was different back then.
It was very different.
That's what you
and that's something that needs to be discussed too, because when the gold standard was taken off the dollar, that created a whole different paradigm to work with and to build investment portfollios and things like that with.
Yeah. If you go and have a look at the property price charts, and
I've seen them a number of times on your podcast.
It's amazing.
Significantly different as to what happened after the gold standard come off. To what happened to the property prices, and also the fact that they were printing the money as they go. That absolutely made a difference with everything as well. So, you know, we have these types of discussions, and we do talk about these types of things. And, you know, my children, because I moved in with my parents, they do have They do have that sort of influence from my parents as well as me as well, you know, from the different generation dynamics of doing things. So, you know, he'll, like, particularly my young son, he'll come up and talk to me and say, look, Mum, you know, what if we paid it? Why do you think it's not a good idea to completely pay down, you know, your loan to get another property and that sort of stuff? And I'll go into explaining, you know, how the dollar's devalued and how, you know, they're printing money faster than you can actually save it and all that sort of stuff. And then by the time you have the money saved, you know, the properties go up so much more by the time you go and, you know, go to purchase it. You don't, your deposit's not enough anymore. You still got to keep saving. So you're chasing your tail, saving money to try and buy an investment property when, you know, if you start out small and build up to it, it does happen, because one investment property could grow in equity 30, 40, 50, you know, 100,000.
You got properties that you bought for, I'll just make up some numbers here. I know they're in your portfolio, like 150, 200, that would have doubled in the short period of time. And
there's no way I could have earned that.
There's
no way I could have earned that. And then to go and borrow the money from that to go again, that's tax-free money.
And those properties, even though you pulled the money out like as if you've sold it, people go, oh, what about the interest? It'll cost you more interest. Well, you've pushed the rent up. So the tenant's now paying for that debt.
Push the rent up, plus you've got another asset that you've purchased the money with. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I know what you mean, Jane.
It compounds. It does. It compounds. And that's something that I have conversations with my children with, and they're watching me. I'm just wondering, like, where I go from here as far as, you know, like I'm weighing up as to what would be the best thing for me to do. Do I start paying things down? Do I keep getting more properties? I'm just, I'm kind of wondering where I'm going to go with that. So I don't know what's going to happen.
I reckon for our next steps, we've got rents need to go up still. We've got interest rates coming down. We've still got markets that are rising quite good. Some of those properties in your portfolio, I think, could do some stupid stuff, like where they double, triple. Like I was chatting to a client last night who bought in the Gold Coast for $215, and he sold it for something for like $620 or something, like about a year ago. I was like, oh, just hold on a second. I'm like looking on realestate.com, so it's selling, and they're selling in the same complex now for over 700, right? And it's annoying. He's like cool with the fact he sold it because he needed to do something else with, right? But it's like once you sell that asset, it's gone forever. But as I looked at that, we're laughing and we're like, fuck, and you know, this is what it is. And then he had another property in the Gold Coast, and he looked that one up, and he's like going, hey, and I saw a property in this location, the Gold Coast, and I'm like, these things are 750, 800 grand. I was buying it for 170, right?
Yeah, right.
And then I think, like, well, what other areas would be like that 800 grand now? Like, you can get better value than that.
So can I ask, from the time you bought from that low end to the high end, what was the time period that went through that time?
I'd say between 2013 and 16.
So 3 years.
No, like those years were the purchase of that portfolio.
Yeah,
so it'd be like 10 years. It's a 10 year.
So 10 years.
But they didn't just quadruple today. Like, they've gone up, like, the time, they probably bought it for 200 and it's worth 250, and then 280, just like the stuff that we're doing, right? And then we look at it now and it's like, okay, it's gone up to 400, 450, and it's like, wow, that's cool, it's gone up a lot. Then it's like, well, the thing's now selling for 600,000 out there, and it's just, you know, every year it's gone up another 50, 100 grand.
Yeah,
right?
Go try and earn that.
Exactly.
There's only so many hours in the day that you can work.
Yeah.
There's only so many hours in the day. And even in that, you're capped as to how much an hour you can earn.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Whereas this is just growing. It's going to grow and grow and grow and grow. And you just constantly can pull out and go again, pull out and go again. And that's how you grow. That's how you roll.
There's a position, Jane, which I'd like to see at, which is maybe 12, 24 months is where one of these things might go really stupid, like the double thing, and it might be, hey, that one we should sell, and we go buy a little block of units for 600 grand. Let's say you got a 200, it goes to 800. You could sell it, take 600 grand, and go buy a little block of units cash that bring you $1,000 a week.
That'd be nice.
In that instance, you've chopped out 200 grand worth of debt. You've now got 600 grand cash. You're going to buy a new asset that hasn't experienced the run with multiple cash flow streams coming through. And then that's going to take us to the next stage of where you want to be in life.
Doesn't that come under industrial then? Does it that'll change?
Commercial loan.
That's right, yes.
But you could get a commercial loan or you could just buy it cash. Because if that's what you want to do, then you talk about paying that debt. Should you go and pay $50, $100 a week to pay off your debt? It's not really going to make a difference, right? But if you just take off 200 grand of debt and you get 600 grand to go buy it cash, you've achieved two things. You're paying down debt. You've had a sideward step with the portfolio. You might replace it with 4 sets of tenants instead of 1.
Yeah.
You've got a property that you've disposed of that's already got, how much more? It's going from 200 to 400 to 600 to 800. Is it going to go to 1.6 million? Or could that 600 grand property that's right at the bottom of the cycle that we pick up go to $1 million or $1.5 million in the next couple of years? So
right.
it's like,
because I was wondering where would I go from here. Just no idea.
You got lots of options now, Jane.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. And that's from having absolutely no options, no idea, contemplating suicide, doing all that sort of stuff, to now having options to, make a difference in my life.
You said that word. I never knew that, but it's like fuck. So yeah.
Yeah, I come close 3 times.
Fuck. That's like you've had so much adversity, Jane. You've had so much.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
I've never been so grateful in all my life, having gone through all of that.
Yeah.
Because now I can come across someone that's gone through whatever. Like, I've just explained so many different things that I've been exposed to. I come across somebody and they come and say something to me.
Yeah.
I can feel them. I know where they're at. Like, being a property manager, I come across a lady. I was doing a routine inspection.
Yeah.
And she was very, very rude to me. This is a tenant that was very, very rude to me doing a routine inspection. And I didn't even know why she was very rude. Anyway, she ended up contacting me, about a week or so after the routine inspection.
Yeah. Completely
apologising to me. She goes, Jane, I'm so sorry that I treated you that way. She said, I am being abused by my partner. And so I've got his mum as constantly watching everything I'm doing. Yeah. And because I'm able to understand where she's coming from, I say, mate, make sure you get your support networks in place. Make sure you put some money aside. Make sure, you have all that inside. If you're looking to separate and move, make sure you have all this in place. Yeah, yeah. I'm able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, when you go through such adversity, you join clubs, you join the club of losing, a person, to breast cancer. You join the club, of suicide. You join the club of domestic violence. You join the club of depression. You join the club. So you understand where all these people are coming from. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're able to relate, and you can really, like, I can actually see where the people are coming from and totally feel and understand where they're coming from, and even guide them out of it, because I've been there, done that, and I've even come out the other side, what's happened. Yeah. And that's been the blessing. Yeah. Because I like to look at the blessing. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't have gone through anything that I've gone through without having a strong faith in God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. I swear to God, that's... Yeah. And on top of that, realizing that we are powerful. Yeah. Like, we are powerful human beings. We are powerful beyond measure. Yeah. And what I'm finding, and what you've made it clear on many of your podcasts and even on Birchfeed, they are constantly trying to dumb us down. They're constantly trying to, say, look, you're not powerful. You're not.
We're under attack. We're on a spinning ball in the middle of nowhere, and you came here from nothing, and
you evolved from a monkey. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, stupidness, and there's no intelligent life here. Beam me up, Scotty, kind of thing. That is not at all true. Yeah. At all. Yeah. We are so powerful as human beings. Yeah. That we can grow and become and do whatever we put our minds to. Yeah. We just need to put your mind to it, and that's when you put your mind on something and you set everything. Yeah. As you said a number of times, the world opens up. Yeah. To welcome you in. Yeah. It's powerful. That's a powerful thing. Yeah. Yeah. It is so powerful.
I guess they're all seasons too, right? Like I see my life as season. I've had adversity so many times. Everyone has adversity in different ways, right?
Yes.
Like everyone's dealing with some sort of shit going on in their life, and it's that person that you need to turn up to be. But it's like it's just growing from that, and it's
always reminding yourself that it is just a season.
Yeah, it changes,
and that it will change. Like there was a beginning.
Yeah.
There has to be an end.
Yeah.
So there was one season there that lasted for years for me. I'm thinking, it was like a dark hole. It's like there's no way out of this. Like how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
And it's like no, I had to constantly remind myself this is a season.
Yeah.
This started.
Yeah.
This has to have an end. This can't continue like this.
Ultimately, everything's going to have an end, Jane. Everything has a start here in this world. I'm going deep here. We're born, and it's all going to end, right? And none of it will matter in the end. So
well, I am innately aware of that.
Yeah.
To the point that yes, okay, I have this investment property.
Yeah.
Right? I have my portfolios.
Yeah.
But I'm just a steward.
Yeah.
You know, I am looking after it, but I'm just a steward for that now. You know, for this moment in time.
Yeah.
How I show up as a person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Has a huge impact on the people that I interact with, the people, you know, and the people that are going to see this podcast.
Yeah.
It's so important to me. Like the law of sowing and reaping, and you know what goes around comes around. I've seen that happen so many times in a negative way. It's like I really don't want that to happen. Like I really want that in the positive way.
Yeah.
Like I come from a farm. Like I grew up on a farm, right? So for me to use the analogy of you sow a seed in the ground, that's just one seed in the ground, right?
Yeah.
That seed grows into a tree, into
fruit,
you know, hundreds of fruits with, you know, Lord knows how many seeds in each one.
Yeah.
That's the law of sowing and reaping.
Yeah.
So what sort of seed are you going to sow?
Yeah.
Are you going to sow being kind, being generous, being that, or are you going to be like the gentleman that ripped me off 200 grand?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to sow that sort of seed? Now that gentleman actually got someone for $1 million.
Yeah, wow.
Because he told me about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
When I was talking to him, he had already gotten he gotten broken into. You know, his children have, you know, some sort of blood disease, all this sort of stuff. It's like what are you sowing? Like it comes back around. And if it's not you, it's your children.
Yeah. And it's generational curses, like that's without going to so aware of that. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I'm here on a working visa. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go back home.
Yeah.
I can't often say that to my children. I said, well, I'm on a working visa here. You know, I'm going to go home eventually.
Yeah.
You know, it's how you show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's been another reason why I love working with you guys, because you guys have such a level of integrity.
Thank you.
Like there are businesses there that don't have a level of integrity. Like I've worked with other companies where, you know, they don't treat their you know, employees properly. You know, they say one thing and do another, and all that sort of stuff. Like the level of integrity is really low, and it's like I really try and stay away from those companies.
Yeah.
But Be Invested, bar none, and the associated companies you have with Be Invested, the level of integrity is...
If I don't like something, it has to change, and people leave sometimes, and I've never had to shirk the difficult decision of going, no, this is what we need, clear the way, let's make
it. always comes from the top.
Exactly.
This is what I've always noticed.
Yeah.
It's always come from the top. Like I was working in a company where they were on the stock exchange. Like they were publicly listed. And so the gentleman that, you know, owned the business, he had the board of directors there.
Yeah.
And so every month they would have a barbecue, and they would have a barbecue for all the workers and everything, and like it'd be a pretty cool spread, you know, they have salads and all this. So I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And the board of directors, they were there and they were waiting for the owner to, you know, say, look, we'll wait for you to line up to go and get your barbecue. He goes, oh no, I'll make sure that all my employees get theirs first before I go. I want to make sure they're all good.
Yeah.
I fell backwards.
Yeah.
I thought, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the level of integrity this gentleman has. I would have loved to have stayed with that company. I couldn't stay.
Yeah.
But that's the level of integrity this gentleman had with his company.
Yeah.
That he valued his employees so much that he didn't made sure he was last to get this barbecue. And it's like that. I notice things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's huge. Yeah. And that carries down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sort of filters down through the business.
There's a business saying the fish rots from the head first, yeah?
What's that?
The fish will rot from a head first. So
yes.
The fish dies and it rots from the head through the meaty, fleshy part. So any organisation or any, even people, they just rot from the head of their own thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've many times I've seen that, and it's so important, like, to actually see how you show up in life.
Yeah.
To be able to show up and be an inspiration to kind of help people move along, or even be that beacon of light to say, look, you know what? Yes, I know things aren't good right now.
Yeah.
But this can happen. This can happen. This can happen. You can do this. I've got you. We can do it.
Yeah.
And that's been. Yeah. That's how, having gone through everything I've been through, experienced what I've experienced.
Yeah.
I have been asked, would I change anything? I don't think I would.
Yeah. It's made you.
I don't think I would, because there's been occasions where I say, I wish I could.
Yeah.
Looking back now, I don't think I would. And actually, in actual fact, when I started this journey, I had members of, prominent members of my family, turn around and say, oh, look, we'll see what you'll do.
Yeah.
We'll see what we'll see what you, because I know Linda was a part of the Amway Corporation, I think. I think part of her story was that she went into Amway to see how she can move forward.
Yeah.
I was the same.
Okay.
That's how I can relate to her on that thing. Okay. And I went to, members of the family and say, look, do you want to, get this? And they go, nah, but we'll see what you'll do. We'll see what you'll do. And it's like, I didn't say anything to him at that point in time.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it's like, you're on.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. Like, this is where it's at. I'm going to show you what I can do. Yeah. I mean, granted, it took me 10 years.
Yeah.
But this is where it's at. Like, I've done things. Just even this year alone, I've increased my portfolio 20%.
Yeah.
And published a book, and that's something that most people don't do in a lifetime. And I've done that in just 1 year, and to be able to be focused on that.
Yeah.
Is just to focus that you've done that.
Can I have a look at your book?
Yeah, sure.
Can we talk about the book?
Yeah, absolutely.
Life Skills for Teen Boys Made Easy.
Yes.
I know why you've written a book, because you've got you had teen boys.
I did, yes.
What's the background of the book? And
well, the reason why I wrote this book is because, particularly today in this day and age, you've got parents that were brought up in an era where there was no social media, there was no AI, there was nothing like that. Whereas the kids today, the teenagers today, are growing up with that.
Yeah.
And they are getting bullied. And we used to get bullied when we were kids, like I used to.
Yeah. I went to 5 high schools because I couldn't make friends. Yeah. So
so that's what it was in our day. But you go home, you're safe. You're with mum and dad. You're with your siblings. You might get a bit of a rough and tumble. With your siblings, but that's nothing. That's your siblings, right?
Yeah.
Today, in this day and age, the children, they come home from being bullied from school, and they're still getting bullied in their own home.
Yeah.
And they're not safe with that anymore.
Yeah.
Parents that have not been brought up with that don't know what to do with that. What options do they have before them?
Yeah.
To help their teen, to kind of help them get through that.
Yeah.
Then there's also the other thing that I go into is where schools tend to push the kids to go to university.
Yeah.
You've mentioned this a number of times on your podcast.
Yeah.
They push them to go to university and all this sort of stuff. And like my children in particular, they didn't want to go to university. They were very hands-on kids,
Yeah.
So I talk about how do you get jobs in, apprenticeships and things like this. Like what are the best ways to approach an employer that are, that could possibly take your child on board. Like taking 2 weeks off, as many, they say you only have 2 weeks work experience, but I actually pushed to get, more weeks out. And like I said, listen, my kid didn't go into year 11 and 12.
Yeah.
I want my kid out there during year 9 and 10 to get to know the employer so they can get their foot in the door to get an apprenticeship, by the end of year 10.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's exactly what happened. And I actually go into explaining how
Beautiful.
that's done. I also go into, internships and all that sort of stuff with university and things. I didn't just focus on the apprentice. I went for the apprenticeship and the and the university student, but there isn't much out there to describe how to get your kid into apprenticeships.
Yeah.
And they're needed today.
Yeah.
I mean, how many carpenters do you need? Like, how many electricians and things do you need? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, especially in our line of work.
If I had a 15-year-old boy today, I'd be like, a trade would be where I'd go. Like if I was 15 or 16 again, I'd go for a trade. Like if I was starting out again, like not that I want to go and become a plumber or electrician or that, but I think that's if you go to university, like let's say you're 16, you go become an apprentice, or 17 become an apprentice. By 20, you're a fully qualified
100%.
tradesman. I remember when I quit my job at 24, I had friends who were finishing uni.
That's right.
I just worked and fucking hustled and bought property and all that.
You had two full-time jobs. How'd you do that?
I just sacrificed. Yeah,
that's insane, man.
hustle.
When did you sleep?
Well, two full-time jobs, like that's like 80 hours in a week, but I'd work maybe one day off on a Sunday or a Saturday or something like that, and then some days would work like 16 hours or whatever. But if you think about it, like if you're a young person, like if I was young again, like kids would go out and party and get pissed at the pub for night time, go out for 6 hours, 8 hours for night time or whatever. So it was just being disciplined on that front. So I had no time to go and be mischievous at those ages, which was probably good.
Because I had a full-time job and a part-time job when I was 18. Because or even before that, because one of my goals was to have a property by the time I was 18 as well.
Okay.
And I was pretty close to hitting the wall. Like,
yeah.
And you're telling me that you had two full-time jobs. Like even in your part, you've mentioned a number of times you had two full-time jobs.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to ask how you did that. Like that was
just push myself, like
insane.
So, like even to this day, like I quit my job, 24, made YouTube videos, built businesses, but I'd look at it now, I work stupid hours, right? Like I was out at midnight checking out an office getting stripped out last night. This new office is getting fitted out for one of my businesses, and I'm like, most people be like, why would you go out there at midnight? It's like, well, that's because I've got some time. I'm going to go take a drive past it, right? I'll make a phone call to someone whilst I'm driving out there, and I'll go and see it, and it fits into the day. So I just, what else am I going to do with my time? I'm going to go home and watch some stupid shit on TV that's going to like brainwash me and dumb me down. And,
You're right. It's stupid stuff on TV.
I'm creating, I'm building, I'm moving, I'm making things happen. So yeah, it becomes a game. Like if you can,
I get it. I get it. Because even like with creating this book, like I would get up 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Do 2 hours. Like I created this book for the past year. Do it just on 2 hours every day. That's all I had.
Yeah.
It's getting up at 3, finishing at 5.
Yeah.
And then having to get ready to go to work to drive the dumpy, from 7 till 5, and then by the afternoon I'm screwed. Like I'm just absolutely tired. That's how this book came.
But why did you do it?
Why did I do it?
Why did you do the book? You didn't have to. You want to?
Because I wanted to affect change.
Yeah.
I wanted this because COVID had a big impact on our teens.
Yeah.
Huge impact. Like I'm noticing it with some of the friends of my children. They're still at home. They're not working. They don't want to work. They're not because they're scared and they're anxious and all this sort of stuff. It had an impact on the teens. It had an impact on the children.
Yeah, I see. Like I've got dozens of nieces and nephews, and some of them are older and whatnot. And I see younger kids now that, like, not them, but just in general. It's like they're built differently, right? It's like, is it society pressures? Is it like...
It's different.
Yeah, like I was like 16, I want a driver's license, right? I know 16-year-olds, I know 18, 19-year-olds don't want a license, they don't care about it. It's like,
no license, no job, no apprenticeship, no nothing, no aspiration, no goals, no dreams, nothing to shoot for.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's
they are our future. That's where the future of Australia is, and they're not driven. They're not, and it's scary. And I'm thinking if I can encourage parents to kind of be more proactive with their children, to kind of say, look, okay, if what do you want to do? Like I was lucky with my children. They both wanted to become truck drivers, right? They wanted to drive trucks because that's what their father is, and their father is a huge inspiration to them as far as that is concerned, right?
Yeah.
And I said to them, well, right, if you want to be a truck driver, you can't drive a truck. You can't get a truck license till you're 21.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to university. So, you know, during that time, you leave school from 15, 16 till the age of 21, get an apprenticeship as a diesel mechanic.
Yeah.
So then that way, if the truck shits itself somewhere on the side of the road, you can at least sort yourself out and get yourself going again.
How good's that?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the seed I was planting, because they knew that they couldn't drive until they were 21 at least.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the license, that's how old you have to be to get that license.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. So they knew what they wanted to do. But then there are kids out there that don't know what they want to do. And my book actually caters for that, because what happens, what I've got in there is like a few places they can go to do like a personality type survey thing, based on their personality, what, you know, what their strong traits be, what their weaknesses can be, you know, what jobs can be, you know, suitable for their strengths and that sort of stuff. Like that goes into all of that. So it actually encourages them to look at different ways, especially with, you know, everything that's going on at the moment. Like especially boys. Like I feel like men are being attacked. I feel like masculinity as a whole is being attacked. It's like they either want boys to stay boys or be girls.
They
don't want them to be
men. You want in 2025, Jane. You can be anything you want in 2025.
100%. Even a whale. Like it's just unbelievable what's going on right now. And it's like, you know, it's like they're scared of our boys becoming,
because they can turn the system.
Free thinking. 100%.
You don't want an army.
You don't want the William Wallaces. You know, freedom. You don't want that. No. We want them to stay, you know, meek, mild, and you know, we don't want the masculinity. You know, the provide, protect. You know, no, we don't want that. So,
because if you had that emerging from the world we're in today, if you had that type of character, there'd be a riot on. There would be civil outbreaks around the world, or in the Western world specifically. So
So this is my contribution to kind of help, you know, the teen boys move forward into the next stage.
And where can you buy the book?
Well, you can get it on Amazon. I've actually put my book on Ingram Spark, which is actually open to all the other bookstores around the country.
Well, we'll put a link on. We'll get the team to put a link, if you can send a link to it, where they can buy it and share it around, and everyone show Jane a bit of support and order some books. If you've got
I appreciate
a Christmas present, a birthday present, you don't have boys that are a teenager, you got, you know, you know a 30-year-old that doesn't have their shit together, and you need to get them sorted. And you know, a big adult, buy the book for them as well. I'll get a couple. I'll get a few off the books. I'll give them around to my nephews and stuff too.
Oh, so, really? Okay. Wow. Thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah. So it's just something I did because I feel it's really, really important, you know, to kind of help the teens today move forward and get to the next step. And it's harder for parents, like I said, because there is that gap. And so I've written the book not just for the teen boys, but also for the parents, so that they can have conversation starters that they can start with their children, and even have some sort of common ground to start with, because it's hard when you're not brought up that way.
I see so many parents, right, and even like our parents and, you know, children and all that. Like, no one comes with an instruction manual, right? There was instruction manuals. There's been source codes. There's books that are there of how to live a good life, right? But you know, you were talking about beforehand, the world has removed us from the book of the source codes, right, and given us a world of whatever propaganda they want to fill our heads with. So I think it's good to be able to coach and guide. And
well, I've had two boys. Same make, different model. Two totally different human beings. Totally different. You know, one's easygoing, you know, no hassles, you should be right, mate, we'll sort it out, and it'll be good. The other one's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Let's go. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, two totally different.
It's weird. It doesn't matter if it's a sibling whether it's a twin, whether it's an identical twin.
100%.
I've seen identical twins that are the total opposite to each other.
Yes.
There's a thing called a mirror twin. A
Yeah.
mirror identical. So they're identical, but they're the opposite to each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just never know.
Yeah,
You never know
So to parent that
Yeah.
in today's world, considering what's out in the world today, that wasn't around when we were growing up. Like we
Yeah.
didn't. I grew up without a mobile phone.
Yeah.
We didn't have mobile
Me
phones.
too. I was forcing to get one. My mum lost her shit because she's like, "You can't sell my 13-year-old son a mobile phone." I was like, "I've got a phone." Stuff you, mum. I got a phone, right? I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be like an adult.
Yeah.
No, adults didn't have mobile phones back in '97.
No, they had
but-
bricks, didn't
Yeah,
they? How'd you get the mobile phone at
I
13?
went to the shop and bought it. It was like $800. I bought a Ericsson GA337.
Oh, so it wasn't one of those brick things?
It was a brick. It was before a 5110. It was a brick with a big antenna. Yeah, with the faceplate that was like it was like a credit card. The front was a credit card. And you could pop the front off and change the colour. It was one of them. So
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
Did you hold on to that for keepsake?
No, I've got some around somewhere. Like I used to collect phones. I used to always want the
Well,
newer
I've
phone,
still got my
Yeah.
little crappy thing. Yeah, it's just unreal. Like what has happened? Like the way things are changing. Like, I even think that by the time our children have children,
Yeah.
they are going to have problems parenting because things are going to be changed so much. Like with AI and the effect of that, like that is dangerous stuff. That.
Yeah. But if you look at an Amish community, or you look at like certain ethnic groups and families and communities, like their lineage is pretty straight from a source code, right? It hasn't been tampered with like the Western world that has. And,
No.
The world, like it's programming. Every generation's got a new set of programming there.
I think we could take a leaf from their book and put it in our lives. I think because I think to a certain degree we kind of need to go back to that.
Yeah.
To kind of get back to our grassroots.
If you weren't dependent on the system, you'd be screwed, right? Anyone watching this, you'll be screwed. Like, do you know how to gut the chicken? Jane will be all right. She'll be able to fucking tear the chicken apart and cook it up, right? Would you ever grow your own veggies?
I can't kill them. I'd be stuffed at killing them. I can't kill them.
Yeah. But no one would even be able to pull the guts out of them. They'll be go to get dead chicken, right?
Yeah.
What do I do with it, right? I'll eat the feathers. Like, that would not do.
Yeah.
And we're feeding on the tit of the matrix. We're feeding on the system. We're connected. We can't let go of that. The umbilical cord's still there.
We need to find ways to disconnect from that. Like that, I think that is so important. And I think on a few occasions you've mentioned different ways of trying to disconnect from that. I think it's so important in this day and age because if anything else, what went down in 2020, 2022, during that period, that was a huge eye-opener for me. And if nothing else, it kind of... That there actually put that actually stoked the fire under my backside to actually do something about things.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It opened my eyes up to so many things that's going on. Like, for instance, we've quite often spoken about our straw man and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. On many occasions, like that's just opened up.
Which that's all right.
It just opened up the. That's not going to stay now. Just opened up the variety of what exactly we are living in and where we're at, what's going on, how things are happening.
Yeah.
And the sort of world we really are living in. We're not under a veil. Like it's all covered, it's all shrouded, and if your eyes aren't open,
if you're not in tune,
read the writing that's on the wall, or even decipher what's on the wall. You know what I mean?
It's in plain sight. It is in plain sight,
but you've got to understand how to decipher it, and it's just amazing what's been opened. Like during that time period was a crazy time.
Yeah. And
the things that have just helped me with things is just amazing. Like what I've just been open to.
People ask me like, generally, how are you, right? How's things going? And I'm like, it's a good time to be alive, right? And I could be dealing with the shittest day in my life, right? But I feel so empowered. I feel like I've got the freedom of my own brain. I've got conscious thinking, right? People don't have that. A lot of people don't have it, and it's. I think a lot of people got motivated from Corona. There's a lot of people going, oh, I'm really sad, and oh, I hope you stay home, stay safe, be well, all that. And good, we want everyone to be well, but yeah, like being awake to it and being in tune with it, it's exciting.
Words have power. Like what you say really, really has power, and what you put out there. And I'll be honest, like I'm not always, on par with what I should say. Sometimes I say the most crappiest things and it's really not helpful. But, you know, to hear you say, look, you know, it's a great time to be alive, this is the best, you know, I sometimes struggle hearing you say that. It's like, okay, how is it a great time to be alive? You know, interest rates have just gone up, you know, each month and all this sort of stuff. I'm busting my ass. How? And it's like, yeah, it is a great time to be alive because you can.
I can see the game.
Yeah, you can see the game, but you can also see a way out of it and how it's all working. You know, like you can see how things are. But if you can't see what's going on and how things are working, then that creates a problem, you know. But if you don't know to look, you won't look.
Correct. You can I can not look in the mirror and ignore the fact that I need to go to the gym, right?
You really don't know what you don't know.
Correct.
And that's something that really come to my awareness when I come to you. Yeah. I didn't know what I didn't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like you helped, you know, bring forward like what I needed to know.
Yeah.
And truly, you know, lack of knowledge is a big problem. Like that is our biggest downfall, to be not aware, to not be able to really take notice of what's going on around you and really be aware, like even with what's going on with the superannuation at the moment, you know, how they want to tax, you know, unrealised gains. You know, they're doing that in Melbourne now.
What's that?
They're doing that to the businesses and the investors in Melbourne. I've just come down from seeing my relays down there, and that's what they've said. They said they're actually going for, they want unrealised gains for the next 12 months.
Never heard of it. Yeah.
That's what's going on down there, and I was actually absolutely shocked.
They're taking land tax. Land tax has gone pretty wild down there, and you know, the change of the SIM card with the government in the future will fix that, right? But when I say the change of the SIM card, it's
explain that one to me, because I don't know what you mean.
You just take that actor out and put another actor in, right? You take one SIM, you take your Optus SIM card out and put your Telstra SIM card in, right?
Yeah,
when they take the avatar away, they'll change the SIM card in there. Oh, we've got a new thing. It's still working on the same network that was there, right? But you've just taken out the operator. But they'll change it. And the same thing had occurred. Like, everyone's scared about Melbourne with their land taxing at the moment. And I'm mindful of time as well, because we've probably got to wrap up this. But just we can talk all day. But the in Sydney back in 2005 or whatever it was, Bob Carr, he introduced an exit tax, and people like dumped the government, dumped everything. They removed the exit tax, and then everything took off again. So it's interesting, the level of control and totalitarianism. I think if anything from this today, Jane, the motivation, the dealing with adversity that I've heard you talk about today, there's lots of things that I learned as well today from you. So thank you for being open and vulnerable for the camera and everyone to learn. Like, there's stuff that people can, I think.
I needed to publicly thank you. That was so important to me. Like, for me, that's the whole point. Like, not to say, I've got this portfolio. I mean, hook up with, be invested. And
we haven't
Nathan
even talked about your portfolio today.
Yeah, I know, but but to talk about, I've got that. Yeah, that's all good and well, but you could do that with your team. Your team's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I needed to say thank you, because it was so important to me.
Thank you, Jane.
Just for what you've been able to help me with, and the fact that you didn't bullshit me. You were quite honest and upfront, and like, I even grilled you. I remember grilling you so hard. Like I said, I didn't know who you were.
Yeah,
and I grilled you. I grilled you so hard. Like, I grilled you hard.
Yeah.
And when you said, "Oh, look, I've got these, podcasts, I've got YouTube and all this sort of stuff, go check them out." Yeah. As soon as I checked them out and I heard what the stuff you were saying, I was like, "Oh my God, this guy knows his stuff," and I just grilled him.
That's right.
If the earth could open up and swallow me at that point in time, because I knew who I was dealing with when I saw that then. I thought, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's fun. Like, I would be like, Jane, I don't know why, good luck to her, right? But I think I spent like 2 hours on the phone to you that day, just like making sure you got to where, even if we never spoke again, just get to where you need to be.
Yeah. Well, that was good, because Wayne was following me up then after.
Yeah, okay.
He goes, "How are you going with that property?" And I said, "Well, we've got it on the market. We're just waiting to see what we're getting and all this sort of stuff, and then I'll go from there."
Yeah.
As soon as I sold it, I contacted you guys straight away, and we went from there.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
And it was important for me. Like, I've always wanted to come onto this podcast just for this.
Thank you.
But I had to be right in myself for that, because I've always wanted to be sheltered. I've always wanted to be, you know, under cover and protected kind of thing. And being vulnerable on camera is a different thing, you know. And to come out, I needed to be right in the right frame of mind to be able to do it. And I'm just grateful that I've had this opportunity to, you know, say, first of all, yes, it hasn't been an easy road, but to also say thank you for helping me get through that, you know, in spite of it all, and still move forward. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do in the next year or so, because I changed. Like, I didn't know I was going to write a book, you know, 12 months ago. I didn't know what I was going to do.
There you go.
You know, that's just how things roll with me. And I'm just so grateful just for everything that your team, and, you know, have done for me and my family and all that. It's
thank you.
Humbling.
It's humbling. From my side, I appreciate the confidence and wanting your help, and I'm excited to see where you've come from and where you're at today. So thanks, Jane.
Thank you.
I appreciate
much
that.
love and respect.
Thank you. Likewise.
Truly.
Thank you. On to the book. Follow the links in the description, folks. Thanks for listening in. Make sure you show support to Jane, please, and buy a book, buy a few books, buy books for your nephews, your cousins, your friends' kids, whoever you know. Get them onto the book, and appreciate that. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, honey.
That's right.
Give us a hug.
That's all right. Thank you. And everyone get to see my board shorts then that I wear underneath the desk here when I sit up. If you like the videos, like the content, smash up the like, and remember to subscribe every Thursday, Google Play, Apple Play, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.
Like Bilal said, man, we stuck in the matrix. This my advice, don't care if you take it.